Amado might eventually end up becoming one of the most dangerous people in Boruto Two Blue Vortex, and the scary part is that he doesn't need another cyborg to do it. He already has the perfect weapon sitting in his laboratory that is constantly asking him for upgrades, and Kawaki's been handing him the keys to his body piece by piece, because if Amado discovers that Akebi is going to get revived only for Kawaki to kill her afterwards, suddenly their little agreement has an expiration date. And when a father who has spent years trying to cheat death for his daughter learns something like that, I don't think that he's going to politely accept Kawaki sending her right back to the grave. Join me in today's newest Naruto Explained video where your OBC, your original Boruto chief, takes a look at the Kawaki and Amado dynamic moving forward, because given Amado's recent moves, there is a trouble in paradise that is brewing for the mad scientist and his most important cyborg. Also, we'll be publishing shortly on YouTube more videos that have been Patreon exclusive content that patrons have had as far back as January, so expect videos like the Iwabe video, the Hashirama video to drop within the next week. I just need to finish making thumbnails for them. I already have the artwork done, just need to make the thumbnails. But once those are finished, they'll be public on YouTube for those you guys interested to check them out. Big shouts out to the patrons who made those videos possible all those months ago. So looking at everything as it is right now in Boruto Two Blue Vortex, we have an Amado problem. Desperation and running out of options are about as dangerous of a combination as an incel being brutally rejected by their crush while they're holding a loaded weapon. We've always known Amado was a sussy baka, but now with the latest chapter, it's been ramped up to unrivaled levels for a Boruto character, and it's all because of 10 Directions. 10 Directions was a power. The moment that Amado heard how it worked, he became intrigued by it, and it immediately became his new obsession. He took the required steps to get his hands on Kashin Koji, and he modified his body yet again before asking him about what futures he saw that surrounded his daughter's revival, and even walked him through, this is what I was trying to do, tell me this works. As a scientist, that power takes out 99% of the guesswork, and so Amado naturally wanted to know, am I doing all this in vain? And if I am doing it in vain, I wonder what I could change. What Amado was told was something that stunned him. In no timeline did his daughter ever revive, but due to no fault of his own research. It was because his theory never got tested. And it was all because of Kawaki. In every timeline that Kawaki fought Jura, Kawaki died. A dead Kawaki means that Akebi never got revived. This is important because it speaks to Amado's characterization. He didn't ask for permission when he modified Koji, he just did it. When he asked Koji about his visions regarding his daughter, he sincerely wanted to know the truth. Yes, absolutely. However, given how Amado was drawn in the chapter, it is implied he could see Kashin Koji's 10 Directions visions, likely getting them transmitted to his glasses. So Amado was going to learn the truth one way or the other. It was only a matter of when he learned the information that he was seeking out. A person like Amado doesn't wait for a green light. He sees the yellow light and he speeds through it, and he treats a red light like it is optional. If he crashes the car, he doesn't care, he'll just build another car. Amado has spent years manipulating Kara, manipulating Konoha, modifying Kawaki's body, recreating karma technology, and basically turning the entire Boruto story into the world's most complicated resurrection experiment because he refuses to accept that his daughter is dead. So for Kashin Koji to look at him and say, cool story bro, but let me tell you right now, all that shit that you did, it failed. It wasn't something Amado would accept, and for his character, that elevates the threat level of Amado severely. He can't fight, but he doesn't have to. He's a scientist in a story that since the very beginning has asked the question, where does science fit in the world of shinobi? Amado might be forcing that conversation back into the forefront yet again, now that he knows where the future is currently leading. All roads lead to Kawaki dying and his daughter never being revived. His entire plan revolves around that deal with Kawaki where Kawaki has to stay alive. Power up Kawaki strong enough that he kills Jura, that he kills Code, that he kills Boruto. Only then will Kawaki revive Amado's daughter Akebi. In every future, Kawaki accomplishes none of that. Amado has to go back to formula. No Norman Osborn. The variable in all of this is that Kawaki by some miracle pulls everything off. There won't be anyone powerful enough to stop Kawaki if the worst possible outcome for Amado happens. He revives his daughter, and she's an Otsutsuki. Kawaki will kill her as he warned Amado. That shutdown code on Kawaki only lasts for so long, and you would think now that Kawaki's been hit by it once, he'll be on the lookout for it yet again. If he doesn't, Kawaki is an idiot. Amado needs an answer for his Kawaki problem, because he doesn't come across as someone who will just sit back and go through another Jigen and Ishiki experience where they hold the resurrection of his daughter over his head and make him do the same song and dance number that he's been doing for all these years. Amado shut up and he took it the entire time. However, it's in human nature that somebody like that is going to be tired of having strings attached to them. Eventually, they're going to cut those strings and they're going to start dancing to the beat of their own drum. This is even more so the case if we look at Amado's character. The bright side for Amado is that this is not purely a problem about power. It's a problem about technology. Kawaki is strong, but Kawaki is also a cyborg. His entire body runs with Amado's ninja tech inside of it. Ninja tech that Kawaki regularly has to get updated or else it operates at a degrading efficiency. Kawaki's power boosts that he's been getting, they have not come from training. They've been coming through technology. Amado has had multiple opportunities to mess with Kawaki's body without his consent, and we know based on past behavior that he's not above doing it. Ask yourself this question. Is it really out of character for him to begin coming up with a contingency plan for Kawaki if Kawaki accomplishes his goal, but Amado's daughter is transformed to an Otsutsuki since the karma was made up of her DNA, and that karma is still a karma seal. Karma is a shinjutsu of the Otsutsuki clan. It's as Boruto said about Code, somebody Amado ironically called an idiot. He said that Code used the karma seal and he fundamentally changed the 10 tails. At the end of the day, that karma seal is still Ishiki's essence, and that is a problem. It's ironic that Amado might have made the same mistake that somebody he called an idiot did. There's a high chance that something will go wrong. That goes back to 10 Directions. If Amado is seeing what Kashin Koji sees, and updates are happening more frequently, the moment that Amado sees something where his daughter is in danger, he's going to already have a contingency plan in place to prevent Kawaki from ever killing her. Think for a moment. He can already shut him down. He can already remotely control Kawaki's offense and defense. What's the one thing left? Total control. If he's willing to put the karma on Kawaki against his will and give him a shutdown code, are we really going to say that the man that killed dozens of kids for Jigen is going to be above implanting a malware or a virus into Kawaki's ninja tech in order to hijack him? It's basically Amado putting in a ransomware into Kawaki. That's about as casual of a thing for him to do as me drinking a protein shake and having a cup of white rice after leg day. And you don't think twice about it, you just do it. Logic goes out the window when it comes to matters of the heart. And that's what makes Amado so dangerous. His motivations are incredibly human. It's one of the reasons I really love his character. We can talk about the morality of Amado, and I will leave linked in the description box a video essay that talks about the morality of Amado, but at the end of the day, it's a very human thing that he's doing. You can understand why he wants his daughter back if you are a parent. You can understand why losing her destroyed him. If you've ever lost someone near and dear to you that you care for, you understand his pain. His actions, while they are foul, they are arrogant, they are foolish, and they are likely to get him called an idiot for trying to play God, they are still very much understandable because they're human. But understandable does not mean rational. But the problem with grief is that it does not negotiate like that. And love can make intelligent people like Amado do incredibly stupid things. Again, he is playing with alien technology that he doesn't truly understand. He understands it better than Code, but he's making the same mistake that Code did. And there's actually an old Japanese Shinto story that makes Amado's story and situation even more interesting, because you can really see that this might be where Ikimoto is taking it. So in Shinto stories, Izanagi loses Izanami after she dies following the birth of the fire deity Kagusuchi. Izanagi cannot accept losing her, so he does something extraordinary. He follows Izanami into the Yomi, which is the land of the dead. He's attempting to bring her back. If that reminds you of the Greek story, it should. He is effectively trying to cross a boundary that human beings aren't supposed to cross, because accepting death of someone that he loves is harder than challenging death itself. Only the problem is that it does not work. Izanami has already eaten the food of the Yomi and warns Izanagi to not look at her while she attempts to determine whether she can return. Izanagi eventually breaks that command. What he discovers horrifies him. The person he wanted to retrieve from death isn't simply waiting for him exactly as he remembers her. And that kind of shows the moral of the story. And by moral of the story, I mean there's a lesson in this. Sometimes when a lot of time has passed by, sometimes the image of somebody that you have in your head is not the reality of that person. And we see that reflected in the way that with Izanami, death has changed her, made her unrecognizable from what he remembered her to be. His attempt to restore what was lost ends up catastrophically. Now, there's a darker version of the story that kind of fits into what Kishimoto took inspiration from. I'll say that very quickly. With Izanami, you have like the infinite time loop, and you have the resurrection from death where you can rewrite fatal events and etc. That's because in the other version of that story, one of the deities kills 1,000 people and the other one revives 1,001. It's just an endless loop. That's where Kishimoto got his stuff from. But his attempt to restore what was lost ended catastrophically, and I think that that's what's going to happen for Amado. I'm not saying that Amado's literally supposed to be Izanami or Izanagi, or that Ikimoto intentionally based his story on this myth, though I will say, again, when we found out Amado's last name, I did a video the day after that chapter dropped, Amado Sanzu. Don't be surprised if we're going to learn he has a dead daughter and he's trying to revive her from death, because the Sanzu River is the river of the afterlife in Asian stories. Ended up being true. Thematically, there is a fascinating similarity here. Amado is another man who cannot accept that someone he's lost has crossed the boundary of death. And Amado is a man of science. When you look at the views that a lot of people heavy in the science community have on the idea of death, they don't necessarily believe in it in the way that somebody religious does. They look at it like it is a science. You can understand it. So instead of descending into the Yomi, Amado has descended into science. Instead of asking the gods of the underworld to return to Akebi, he's using karma, the power of a god, cloning, and cyborg technology in order to try and find a loophole. He is doing the scientific thing. He's looking for the logical explanation out of his problem. And the most important part of the comparison isn't simply that both men want someone back. It's possibly getting that person back that doesn't necessarily restore the world that existed before they died, the world that existed being their memory of them. They're not going to be what you remember them to be. It becomes the ultimate monkey's paw situation, and it makes the idea of Amado burning that bridge with Kawaki via a potential forced takeover to keep him from killing his daughter something more tragic. I don't think we're headed towards a happy ending here with Amado, and it does feel like, based on everything, just as Kawaki is having to ultimately learn the difference between love and obsession, Amado may have to learn it is okay to mourn someone and still let them go. Obviously, if you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing, click here on the left for this Naruto Explained video, or click here on the right for this video that YouTube says you would definitely enjoy watching from the channel.